Corriendo.
Thousands of Americans in Mexico are being told to shelter in place after the leader of that country's most powerful drug cartel was killed over the weekend. His death led to an eruption of violence across several Mexican states, forcing airlines to cancel flights out of the region.
Chaos hit the streets of Puerto Vallarta, the Mexican state of Jalisco, and beyond Sunday, as Mexico's most notorious drug cartel fiercely retaliated after soldiers killed their leader, Nemesio Ruben Esquera Cervantes, widely known as El Mencho. Esquera Cervantes was wounded during an operation to capture him in Jalisco and died while being flown to Mexico City. The cartel he led has the highest cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine trafficking capacity in Mexico, according to the U.S. State Department, which had previously offered up to $15 million for his capture. The violence also hit Jalisco's capital, Guadalajara, just a few months before Mexico's second largest city is scheduled to host FIFA World Cup matches.
Activamos el código rojo.
In response, Jalisco's governor activated a code red security alert, suspending public transit, large events, and school activities as authorities across Mexico race to clear more than 250 roadblocks created by the cartel.
We don't know if we're safe. We don't know if they're going to cancel the flight.
Olga Medina saw smoke rising over Puerto Vallarta from the airport Sunday. She ultimately did make it home to Houston before airlines grounded flights in and out of the resort town.
I feel safe now, but I'm still shaking because I can't believe this has happened to us.
Others were not so fortunate. Adrian Moorfield and TJ Perry went to Puerto Vallarta to celebrate Perry's birthday. They were supposed to fly home to Dallas Sunday. Now they're stranded.
You're kind of there indefinitely.
There were no outgoing flights until Thursday. That does not take into consideration whether or not roads will even be open, the airport will be operating again.
Now, it's worth noting that the Trump administration has previously threatened to use the U.S. military to target Mexican drug cartels. And while this specific case was a Mexican operation, it's well known that the American government regularly shares resources and intel with Mexico to counter these cartels.
I'm praying for everyone that's traveling to Mexico for the World Cup because right now it's a war zone. Roads have been closed. Houses and cars are being set on fire. Civilians are being hunted in the streets. And the reason why all this is happening is because a high-ranking cartel member was taken out. And the craziest part about this, the craziest part about all this stuff that's happening is that it's happening in the state of Jalisco, Mexico. This is not only where Korea versus Mexico will be played, it's also where Spain versus Uruguay will be played. I was already worried about the safety of the fans just in the United States. And now Mexico is being added to the growing list of concerns. And the sad part is Mexico is a beautiful place. The United States has a few beautiful places, and this is football. We shouldn't have to worry this much about just watching the beautiful game. And I don't want to fearmonger. I truly hope I'm wrong. I want this to go as smoothly as possible. But I'm worried. That's the truth. Like the World Cup, the last World Cup in Qatar, People were worried about that. I wasn't. I knew it would be very safe. But I can't say the same for this World Cup, so I hope I'm wrong.
Fire, smoke, and chaos across several Mexican states. Cities brought to a standstill as criminal groups retaliate after Mexico's most wanted drug leader died following a military operation Sunday. Blocked highways, drivers forced out of their cars at gunpoint, trucks and buses set on fire. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, a former police officer known to most as El Mencho, was the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, wounded during a Mexican military operation and later died while being transported to Mexico City. The U.S. played a role in Sunday's operation, according to U.S. defense officials, though it's unclear to what extent. As fear spread, many Mexicans spoke out calling for an end to the violence.
People are aware of this violence, and what they want is peace, to live in harmony and justice, not in war.
Blockades were reported across various states, and classes were suspended in at least 3 states as officials tried to contain the violence and keep civilians off the streets.
I'm tired of seeing this continue every single day.
Under El Mencho's command, the cartel expanded rapidly, challenging rivals like the Sinaloa cartel for control of territory and trafficking routes. According to U.S. and Mexican officials, El Mencho managed to avoid capture for years. His detention and death is one of the most significant blows to organized crime in recent years, and the first high-profile operation under President Claudia Sheinbaum. The fall of El Mencho may mark a major security milestone, but with tourism, foreign investment, and security for the 2026 World Cup at stake, the world is watching how Mexico handles what comes next. Valeria Leon, CNN, Mexico City.
We've been coming down here for almost 20 years, and we've always told people to come down and check it out because you always feel safe here. We've never, ever not felt safe. And today was the first day as we left the hotel to go have breakfast and saw all the craziness going on and the violence and the smoke that we were actually terrified. And we saw the people running down the streets, running from the flames and stuff and the fire. And we ran back to the hotel, and then that's when they got the shelter in order place, and we've been here all day. And we're staying at Hotel Eloise, and there's no restaurant or bar or anything here, so we've all been here without anything all day, and the staff has been great, running and grabbing stuff and bringing us some snacks and some water and stuff. But it's been pretty scary, as you can see from the videos and pictures I shared, that blocks away is where all of it's happening, and all the Oxos, they burnt down all of the little Oxos. So there's been little fires and stuff all over the city around us where it's normally fun and nice and people walking around and all the little local restaurants and all the locals being locked up and hidden with us too. And there's a few homeless people that were brought into this hotel they allowed in so that they had some place to go too. So it's been quite surreal knowing this warm, wonderful place that we come to visit a couple times a year is in lockdown and just terrifying for all the people.
Who's the man behind the chaos? His name is Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, otherwise known as El Mencho. He's believed to be the founder and leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, one of the most violent criminal groups in Mexico. For years, he was one of the most wanted fugitives in the country, but today, he was killed in a military operation in Jalisco. El Mencho was born in Mexico in 1966. In 1994, he was convicted of conspiracy to distribute heroin in California. After 3 years in prison and after being released on parole, he returned to Mexico. There he worked as a police officer in Jalisco and was soon immersed in drug trafficking. But this time, he went all in. He worked as a hitman for the Milenio Cartel and then supervised security and operations for the Sinaloa Cartel. But eventually, he reportedly built his own group, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, which profited from the production and sale of drugs like methamphetamine and fentanyl. In 2018, the Mexico Attorney General's office offered 30 million pesos for information leading to his arrest, while the U.S. government raised the reward to $15 million in 2024. Now, without its head, the question remains as to how powerful that Jalisco New Generation Cartel will continue to be, or if this operation successfully divided the group. Mexican authorities confirmed the detention of Nemesio Ceguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, in a joint operation carried out with U.S. support after months of intelligence coordination. According to official sources, he died while being transported to Mexico City. Soon after the operation, violence broke out in several parts of the country. Armed groups blocked major highways, forced drivers out of their vehicles, and set trucks and buses on fire, deliberately using them to shut down roads and paralyze entire cities. We're talking about 5 Mexican states that have reported this kind of violence. And authorities reported blockades in Jalisco, Michoacán, Guanajuato, Veracruz, and Chiapas. And as precaution, classes were canceled in at least 3 states tomorrow, while security forces work to restore order and prevent civilians from being caught in the arrest. El Mencho was not simply a regional criminal leader. He was the founder and leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and one of the most powerful and violent criminal organizations operating not just in Mexico, but worldwide. And under his leadership, the group expanded rapidly, challenging rival cartels for control of territory and trafficking routes, and becoming known for its use of military-grade weapons and also drones and highly visible displays of force. For years, he managed to avoid capture, and now he was captured, and after that he died in her route to Mexico City. Violence erupted in several Mexican states after El Mencho, leader and founder of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, died following a Mexican military operation. The cartel became one of the most powerful and ruthless criminal organizations inside Mexico, according to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. Security forces from several federal branches of Mexico's military carried out the operation in the town of Tapalpa. It triggered a series of violent events across the country, with suspected members of organized crime groups setting vehicles on fire, blocking roads in the area, and clashing with authorities. Jalisco Governor Pablo Lemus Navarro reported. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum praised the work of the agencies involved in the mission, writing in a statement on X, "We work every day for peace, security, justice, and the well-being of Mexico."
It's not unusual in Mexico. Just didn't think anything of it. Kept going, saw another car on fire. Like, okay, that's kind of weird. You saw the ground workers running around, going inside, like trying to hide, and then videos started popping up of like the airport people are running inside, and it happened to just be right in front of our gate.
Look, he just drove by the military right through. Necesito que el gobierno de Lagos me repatrie, pero ya, güey. Look, he just drove by the military right through. Necesito que el gobierno de Lagos me repatrie, pero ya, güey. Look, he just drove by the military right through.
más adelante hay otro.
Ah, ok.
Pero ya no se ve.
Okay. Sí, porque todavía falta un rato para que...
Guys, what's happening in Mexico right now is truly astonishing. Authorities in Jalisco have declared a statewide code red. Cars have been lit on fire. Many shops have been shut down. Schools have been cancelled for tomorrow, Monday. Roadblocks are being set up. Chaos has erupted at the Guadalajara airport with people seen running in panic. The US and Canada, they've warned their citizens in the area to shelter indoors. And there's many videos of these plumes of smoke that could be seen rising from the tourist city of Puerto Vallarta. So you're probably wondering what the hell is going on? Well, today the Mexican army carried out a pretty astonishing operation which killed a major cartel leader. El Mencho was one of the most wanted drug lords in the entire world and was the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. This cartel is one of the most powerful, aggressive, and fastest growing criminal organizations in the entire country. They are known to attack the military, including their armored vehicles, attack their helicopters with rocket launchers, and they've even begun pioneering, they're one of the first to do this, launching explosives from drones and installing mines. And the leader of that cartel, well, the US had a $15 million bounty set on him, and now I don't know who gets the money. And so the chaos that we're seeing erupting today in the state of Jalisco seems to be a retaliation from this cartel. But one of the craziest parts is that these cities in which this is happening are majorly populated cities. Puerto Vallarta is the country's 4th largest tourism destination, while Guadalajara is the 2nd largest city in Mexico, and it's set to host a number of games in this year's World Cup. Now, this is still a developing situation, so I'll keep you guys updated, but crazy.
My name is Faith and you're welcome back to Chat with Faith. If this is your first time, I'm glad you found this channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a conversation. And as always, credit goes to the original creators for every single clip used in this episode. This video is for educational purpose and awareness. It is not meant to hate or discriminate against anyone. So here is the situation. The death of those cartel leaders has triggered chaos, and American stories are caught in the middle. Roads remain dangerous, tensions are high, and local authorities are struggling to maintain control. It's a reminder that traveling abroad, even a popular destination, can suddenly become risky when unexpected events occur. If you are in Mexico or planning to travel soon, follow these precautions. Stay updated with the latest news. Avoid affected areas. Follow instructions from local authorities and check travel advisories from the US State Department. Your safety has to come first, no matter how small or remote the threat may seem. This situation just shows how quickly violence and instability can impact innocent people. Our thoughts are with those trapped right now, hoping for safe passage. If you found this video informative, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts below respectfully. Have you ever been caught in a dangerous situation while traveling? Let's talk about it because awareness can save lives. See you in my next video.